onto the next product, which is a new mouse, which is basically the thing of Razer.
That's right. Just this morning we announced the new mouse, which is called the Razer Taipan. It's an ambidextrous gaming mouse, and it kind of sets the standard for ambidextrous gaming mice for Razer. In the past, we've always innovated with ambidextrous gaming mice. I mean, at the beginning there was the Boomslang, which was back then still a ball mouse, followed by the Razer Diamondback.
Don't forget the Viper.
Viper, yeah, of course. Then there was Diamondback and Copperhead. We kind of innovated in terms of the sensors every time. This time we're using the 4G dual sensor system, and we've kind of upgraded it even further. It's now 8,200 dpi. The more important thing is that it's got a laser sensor for tracking, but an optical sensor to determine the lift-off distance. So especially important for first-person shooter gamers who play with a low DPI and swipe a lot and replace the mouse on the mouse mat. There's not much Z-axis tracking. So that's the cool thing that this optical sensor allows us to do. And it can be configured to each surface that you're using. So if you're using a Razer surface, you can actually select that in the driver, the Synapse 2.0 driver. And it is pre-calibrated to these mouse mats from Razer. And if you're using a non-Razer mouse mat, you can actively calibrate that sensor to that mouse mat.
So you can still, for example, say I'm playing on a hard surface, you'll take a different calibration than when you take on a soft surface, like cloth mouse pads.
Yeah. And all these settings that you configure to the mouse are stored in the cloud. So if you're going to your friend's house, for example, or a LAN center that uses the same mouse, you log into the driver and it downloads your settings onto that mouse. So you don't actually have to set up your mouse every single time when you go somewhere else and configure every single button new because you changed some macros around. Cool. It actually automatically downloads that for you.
Okay, nice. And of course, so clearly it won't replace the Abyssus, which will still be the NG mouse.
Yep.
But my next thing that comes to mind is the Imperator, which also has the 4G sensor. What's the big difference between the new one and the Imperator?
So the Imperator is our ergonomic mouse, and the Taipan is the ambidextrous mouse. So depending on your preference of form factor, that's how you kind of select the mouse that you want to use.
So they're basically equals, but with a different flavor, if I can call it that way. So they both have the sensor.
The you can only use with your right hand, whereas the Taipan you can use the left or right hand. And also the Taipan is kind of made for all grip styles at the same time. If you're using it with a claw grip, for example, the sides of the mouse are very much curved inwards, so it's really easy to lift off. But if you're using it with a palm grip, where the whole hand rests on the mouse, the back of the mouse is shaped so it really lies in your palm. So that's kind of a nice thing. And so that was behind the philosophy of the mouse.
Okay, cool.